Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson, co-host Aurelio Martinez. We missed you guys for a couple of weeks, Thanksgiving, a lot of different things that...
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Let's just get right to it. But you know what, folks, we're going to talk about this past weekend's fight, and then we're going to talk about next weekend's fight because we're rounding out the big fights for 2017.
Absolutely.
Hasn't been a bad year, Radio. I know a lot of people might differ with my opinion, but I say it hasn't been a bad year. It's been, some good riveting fights, but let's just go strictly to Saturday night where we had Miguel Cotto taking on Sadam Ali at the theater. The theater.
That's right.
Madison Square Garden in New York. Saturday night, televised live.
The side entrance. Side entrance.
Televised live on HBO. This fight was very interesting because it was the swan song for farewell of Miguel Cotto from Puerto Rico. I think that most people would agree that he's been nothing but a gentleman in class act as far as boxing, and specifically Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, how can you not like Miguel Cotto? I mean, he's a boxer that from start to end gave the boxing fans what they wanted. I mean, he didn't shy from anyone.
Yes.
He fought everyone. He let his talents and his skills in the ring. His performance was just outstanding. I mean, people look back at his career, and there's plenty of memorial fights that you can think of. I mean, he fought the best, he beat the best, and then he's lost to some of the best. I mean, in losing, he lost to Floyd Mayweather. In winning, he beat Zab Judah, Sugar Shane Mosley, Paulie Malignaggi. Definitely has a resume he can kind of frame and put on his wall. So,
you know what? It's good that you mentioned it because Cotto lost to Pacquiao.
Yep.
Right, he lost to Pacquiao. He lost to Floyd.
And
like you said, he lost to Canelo. But who didn't lose to Pacquiao, Floyd, and Canelo?
Exactly.
I mean, you know what? I have a hard time when people, because...
And the thing about it, because I know what you mean, you can say, yes, he did lose to him. But arguably, he gave them the toughest fights.
True.
I mean, he gave them the toughest fight. He was a body snatcher.
Yeah.
I mean, so we talked about this before we started the show on how social media people were saying, well, wait a minute, he's not Hall of Fame worthy and stuff. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Hall of Fame. Just right off the bat before we get into discussion.
Okay.
Hall of Fame worthy?
Without a doubt. I just said it. Credit to the sport, a gentleman at all times. I think that gets lost in translation a lot with Hall of Fame balloting. I mean, it's supposed to be, as far as I'm concerned, one of the criteria for Hall of Fame should be someone that makes a difference in the sport. And I don't think there's anybody, even the harshest critics of Miguel Cotto would say that this dude did anything that would detract from the sport.
No,
unlike some names I could mention, but I'm not, because it's not about them, but someone to just bring a negative to it. Miguel Cotto never did that.
I agree. And you and I, we talk a lot. We do our boxing. We communicate. And as well as anyone else, and a lot of my other close friends, I'm not a big fan of boxing's Hall of Fame the way it is today.
Exactly.
I honestly,
I think most of us aren't.
I think it's more of a joke because of the way they run that operation.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest now.
Well, not only it's a popularity contest, plus it's who's going to give money to the organization. Okay, so I'm not. To me, it's got a long way to go before it becomes a legitimate Hall of Fame organization. Either that with the existing one, or a new international Hall of Fame organization has to come into play, where they don't say, okay, well, let's pick this movie star to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Or let's pick, you see what I mean?
We got to change the process.
So I mean, the process has to be real. It has to be real. So
and like you said, I agree. I agree that Hall of Fame, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, he's a stellar fighter that has given the public everything they wanted. He has performed 100%.
Yeah.
Even when he was in a fight when he fought Margarito Cheeto Cotto when the guy had concrete in his hands, plaster Paris. He just kept going at it. You know, after the fight, he said he'd never been hit that hard in his entire career, and he's had a long career. And then they come to find out that Margarito had the plaster Paris in his gloves. So I mean, the man is just a true. What am I looking? The word I'm looking for that you want an ambassador of the sport, and someone that you can have youngsters to look up to.
That's right. There's no question
in boxing, because he is the definition of a professional boxer.
You know, the one thing I would say for anybody that want to be critical of him, look back in 2012. Miguel Cotto had 2 fights. He had Floyd, he lost to Floyd, and came back in his next fight for a world title fight. He fought Austin Trout. Now, he lost both of those 2, but like you said, anybody remembers that he gave them both all they could handle. It was not a blowout. It wasn't even close to being a blowout. He was right there in the thick of it.
You just didn't pick Miguel Cotto.
No, you know, as a matter of fact, you try not to be honest. You know, you try not to, because first of all, he was going to almost demand you fight up in New York, where he's got his Puerto Rican fan base, or over in Puerto Rico. So you're going to have to go in there and get some, and he wasn't that guy. He was not an easy out. But let's leave a few minutes so we can talk specifically about the fight itself. I'll give you your go ahead.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it was it wasn't a fight that people thought was going to be where he was going to just pick an easy out for his last fight. You know, because he said this would be his last fight and he was going to retire, and so people would think that he'd pick just an easy fight so he can go out of the sport with a fantastic knockout or something. Well, that's not Miguel Cotto.
That's true.
The Sadam Ali, heck of a fighter, outstanding amateur. Got the high perks in his amateur boxing career. He's coming into his professional boxing. He's up and coming. So it wasn't an easy out, and it showed, because if anyone that saw that fight, if you see that fight and you look at the fight, I mean, for the first half of the fight, man, these guys were banging. I mean, they hit each other, they hurt each other from time to time in the fight, and it was one of them fights that had the fight went all 12 rounds the way the first half of the fight went. It would have been a very, very difficult fight to pick. Okay,
somebody might have got stopped.
And that's what I mean. I don't think someone would see.
But what happened?
Well, what happened? It changed after the second half. I believe it was the 7th round. After the 7th round, notably, you can see Cotto's punches had no power with them. They were pity pat. Scoring punches rather than the force that comes behind a punch to stop a guy. And little did anyone know, but after the fight, it was revealed. Well, he tore that bicep. He actually tore a bicep, and didn't complain. Didn't go back to his corner. Didn't get an ice pack and put on his arm. Didn't look for excuses. Went out there and finished the fight, and he actually finished the fight fighting. I mean, even the way it ended up, the way the fight ended, could have easily been a draw. Okay, could have easily been a draw. And I'm not taking anything from Ali, because Ali fought his butt off. But I am going to say, when you're in the ring, and anyone that's been in the ring like we have, you understand that when your opponent's punches are soft and they have no effect, you get brave.
Yeah,
okay?
No doubt.
And Ali did the right thing.
Yeah,
he did the right thing. He started to put it on. He started to bring the pressure on. So hats off to Ali. I'm looking forward to see him in the future with some of these top contenders.
Having said that, how do you see him matching up at 154 with some of these guys? I'm specifically looking at Jermell Charlo. I'm
gonna tell you right now. Unfortunately for Ali, he's in a weight class that's got some killers, man.
Well, I think correct me, but I think I'm right. I think Sadam Ali is one of the few boys that's Don King. I think I might be right.
I think you might be right. I think
he's with Don King. And we know one thing about Don. Don knows how to maneuver. And man, Sadam Ali might not.
But the pool there is kind of. When you talk about the top 5 and the champions, I mean, who is he going to fight? Triple G, Canelo, Charlo. I mean,
Erislandy Lara. I mean, there's some boys there, like you said, man, that he might not hold on to that title too long. But anyway, that's it for our first segment. Just end up real quickly. Miguel Cotto, in our opinion, you heard both of us, Hall of Fame material, class act, ambassador of the sport. I don't see how anybody can see it different. But we'll move to the second segment. We're going to talk about the fight that's going to end up 2017. You love it or hate it. It's Vasil Lomachenko taking on Guillermo Rigondeaux. A fight where Rigondeaux is going to actually move up 8 pounds.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll talk about that.
That's in our next segment. I'll tell you, we're going to leave this segment. And Miguel Cotto, kudos to you.
Yes, sir.
Now you can go home and eat them pasteles, okay? You can enjoy them pasteles. That's the Puerto Rican.
I thought it was empanadas. Empanadas is not favorite Puerto Rican favorite.
Empanadas is a bread thing, and that's Mexican too. But pasteles is Puerto Rican. It comes around the holidays, during the Christmas time.
I love to call and get that verified from Noemi Bosquez. No, I'm gonna be calling you.
It's funny.
Okay.
Till the next segment, Steve.
Hey,
let's keep it natural.